Stitch is running home with Amish Boy. Axe in front is paddling. Here's Stitch on the outside. He's over the top. Stitch has won. Stitch has won the eyeliner from photos. Axe, Amish Boy, right or wrong, not sure.
Welcome back to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival show. I'm your host, Scoot, and this show's brought to you by TopSport.com.au and puntingform.com.au. And I'm joined by the boys from MacBet, Johnny Mcleod and Tommy Turbo. Henjak, how are you guys?
Well, mate, my new nickname is Sadie. I'm just a cleaner of the bat cave. That's all I am at the moment. Tom's running the show.
I tell you what, he's just had an absolute blinder on Ipswich Cup Day. $28 winner in the first few races, and then he's found Snitch that was off the map, and Desert Lord was the banker. Tommy Turbo, absolutely teaching Johnny Mcleod how it's done.
Yeah, I had to turn it on. Had a special lady friend out from Ipswich. She's from there, so yeah, decided to try and impress her, and glad we got something back.
What an absolute fill-up, and it can be a happy hunting ground, so it's good to get one back. And sadly, this is our second last show of the Queensland Winter Carnival, so it's been a up and down sort of carnival now, but surely you guys have got your nose in front. Tommy, definitely yes for the carnival, but yeah, how do you score the carnival, bookies versus punters?
I don't know. I'd probably say bookies, I would say a little bit. But there's not a lot in it. I don't think there's been like Eagle Farm, a lot of people keep on blowing up about the track, but whatever they back there is in the race, so it's, they run first or second or thereabouts. So, it's probably 50-50, I would say. We've been a bit lucky last week that we had a bad week the previous week, I think, Tom, but this last week was good.
Yeah, we had a good Friday. John led the charge on the Friday up at Caloundra, and then that went into Ipswich on Saturday. But yeah, we really like to bet at Eagle Farm. I feel like we have a really good handle on the track now and how we expect it to play the days beforehand.
But the pattern is pretty similar. It seems to be off the fence, and even if you draw a wide or a bad gate, you can still win the race, can't you? But do you think it's a horses for courses type venue? Horses that have run well at Eagle Farm tend to repeat that, and some horses just don't like the surface?
Definitely.
Yeah, that definitely plays a part of it, and you're right. You do need to be getting to the right part of the track. Definitely age your courses. Like we saw Superior the other day, I feel like you can put his win down to simply getting to the better part of the track, and Brooklyn Hustle, that was on the same day, but you just have to really change your mindset. It's very different to other tracks you bet at, say like a Doomben, a Rose Hill or something like that. Your maps probably aren't as important, or you don't focus as heavily on leaders, on pace horses who have drawn inside.
And what about Craig Williams up there? Still dominating?
Yeah, he's doing everything right. He walks the track. He talks to his owners like they're gods, and he just does everything right. There's a lot of people that walk the track, but some hold hands and some actually do the right thing. So.
We were just talking about that in one of our other chat groups, or just the strike rates of certain camps, and I just know that Elton Zara, I think they were 2 out of 100, and they just popped up and got a winner yesterday. I think it was at Cranbourne, and Adrian Adkins is something like 1 out of 100 rides. So confidence and mindset's a big thing, and I was quite taken by that, Johnny Mcleod. The real reason you're not a stalker, you're very keen to see what Steph Thornton and Benny Thompson's mindset's like. So you're always thinking, you're always looking at edges and angles to figure out, are these jockeys sweet? What, they got their mind on the job? Are they thinking about something else? But I think there's something in that. You always have to be looking at the conditions and then trying to figure out not what just trainers are thinking about, but how confident jockeys are.
Oh, no doubt. And you see, it's amazing. Every time I pull up at the races, those two are actually walking the track. So, it's good to see them walking the track. There's no doubt about that, but I'd like to see them carry something in their hands. And there's other blokes like Michael Carl. He always walks the track, and Williams always is. I've seen him a few times walk the track. He arrived very late last Wednesday, so he he didn't walk it, but most times on the big days he'll be out there doing his thing. So it's something that they have to do. It's just, you don't want to be following people. Well, I suppose a lot of them would, to see who has walked it and then ask the question where they think the best part of the track is. And if they tell them, they're stupid. So they've got an edge.
What about Kyle Wilson-Taylor? About a month ago, you guys signalled him as a bit of a jockey to watch. Has he continued his good run of form?
I think he's been suspended recently. He hasn't been riding as of late. I'm not sure where he's at.
And the other yard that's absolutely on fire at the Gold Coast is Michael Costa. You've been managing to find him?
Well, it's a bit funny. It's a bit funny, those blokes. I'm against all that stuff about, trainers or jockeys being, having great strike rates and all that sort of stuff in a way, because once they get to a level, if you think their level is down here, they can only come down. So it's pointless in actually jumping on the bandwagon when they're past the level that you think they can get to. So, Costa's, I heard someone say the other day, he's had 7 runners since everyone was saying that he's going great, and they haven't placed. So that's the time to actually jump on the bandwagon to go against those blokes. So I'm totally against that way of thinking. I'm the other way of wait for everyone to be jumping on them and saying, spruiking them like crazy, and then jump on, then bet against them. It's a bit like scissor hands. Everyone was going against him. He had 1 out of 100, but all of a sudden, everyone wants to bet against him. And he's not that bad a jockey. He can make blues, but everyone was spruiking him a while ago, and then next minute you just bet against him. But now everyone's off him. He might come back into calculations.
So that's Mark Duplessis for anyone that's just tuning in. But I think what Johnny's trying to say is some stables and some jockeys get overbet, so you just got to look for the patterns and opportunities. And if, I guess, the crowd are all starting to think one way, maybe there's some value out the other side. Let's talk about a sprue course, and let's get into race 6. You're going to do the quaddy legs here. You're going to do the Tatts Cup, the Benchmark 80 Sprint, the Tatts Tiara, and the WJ Healy Stakes. But let's have a look at race 6, the Tatts Cup over 2,400 at Eagle Farm this Saturday. Incentivise is the hot pot at $1.40, Southern France $6, Mirage Dancer $8, and Traduce. You guys signalled Traduce was a potential roughie in the Ipswich Cup. You guys predicted a boil over but couldn't find Happy Go Plucky. But is there anything that can beat this Incentivise? And let's have a look at its last start replay and talk us through it, Tommy.
Yeah, so this was just last week. I think it was in Ipswich in the, what was it? It was the Rising, some Stayers Heats provincial, some championships, I don't know. Absolutely brained him. Look, it's very hard to see him getting beat here. Unfortunately, he's $1.40 and it's no real surprise. You've got Mirage Dancer and Southern France. They're the class horses in the race, but they haven't really been finding the line for a while now. And Incentivise just the horse on the way up. It's quite remarkable the preparation that he's had. Like, he started back in March in Eagle Farm in a 1,400-metre maiden race, and now he's in a Group 3 Tatts Cup over 2,400 metres and on his way down south thereafter. So can't wait to see him in the spring, what he can do down there in Victoria, but certainly not a betting proposition at $1.40 for me, because all he has to really do is turn up and should be winning.
It's amazing looking at his last 3 starts. He's won by 7 lengths, 7, 9, and 9.5 lengths. And I guess the only chink, which is probably not a chink given you're going from a small track to a big track, is 2,500 back to 2,400. But as you say, there's a horse like Romacash. I think the boys backed that in the stream on Blue Diamond Day. There's some absolutely ordinary conveyances here, and I just don't know even how Craig Williams would think his way through a win here on Southern France or Mirage Dancer after seeing what's just happened there. How deep can this guy go? Or maybe a question for you, Johnny Mcleod. Can this guy measure up in spring?
Well, he's got to take a big step. Like I was just going to ask the question. I think his rating wouldn't be that crash hot at the moment. He's going to have to get it right up to get into a Caulfield Cup or a Melbourne Cup or something like that. And,
he'll have to win one of the ballot exemption races to get into one of those races, I think.
But I suppose a Ballarat Cup type of scenario, he's probably the perfect horse. You know, he, as you said, to do what he's done in one prep, if he just doesn't knock him around too much, you know, he could come back, you know, plenty underneath him to go forward again. But, geez, would you go again a week after flogging him the other day? You know, what's this race worth? 100, probably 100 to the winner. You know,
100 to the winner.
You know, I think they paid 800,000 or 900,000 for a half share or something like that, didn't they? So, you know, the 100, it's not even going to hit the sides. Would you be just sort of putting it away and waiting for for Melbourne and just creep up on them, you know, get the job done and get into a Caulfield Cup or something like that? Sort of like going to the well a little bit too many times for mine, but geez, he's a nice horse.
It's going to be fascinating to see, and yeah, maybe this can bump his rating up, and it's a little bit of an afterthought. Maybe just keep surprising the trainer, but it's going to be fascinating to see. Do you think Steve Tregay will keep the horse, Tommy?
Keep him because Peter Moody's training, and I think Steve's kept 50% of the horse.
Okay.
I think. I'll report back to you next week. I'll have a chat to him.
Fantastic stuff. If you want to have a look at his sectional times and I guess confirm what your eye sees on these big 7, 9 and 9.5 length victories, you can do that with puntingform.com.au. They're Australia's #1 betting form guide. If you're doing the form for this week on Eagle Farm, it's a must-use tool, and I know that the boys use the punting form data as part of their MacBet analysis. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at races 7 and 8, including the Group 1 Tatts Tiara. Welcome back to Brisvegas. I'm your host, Scoot, and I'm joined by Johnny Mcleod and Tommy Henjak. And now it's time to have a look at race 7 at Eagle Farm on Saturday, the Benchmark 80. We've got odds courtesy of topsport.com.au up on the screen now. We've got Shooting for Gold, $2.40. Devil's Temptation, $4.40. Genzai the Wolf, $9. Desert Man, $11. And Kanunga, $11. And the replay that Johnny McLeod's going to talk through here is Kanunga from Flemington back in 2020 in the maroon silks. Let's have a look at him rip home, I think, down the outside here, Johnny.
Yep, that's him in the yellow cap blast out wide. And what I liked about this is he rode in quiet and he just attacked the line. It was just a really good run. This is his best run for sure and certain. I think he came to Brisbane after this and he loomed up and fell in, I think. But the way he did this, it was just a really nice run. Now, I admit that it's a while ago, but last preparation, I just think he just didn't come up. I think there was a couple of heavy track runs, you know, in amongst them, and first up he went fair, and I think he hit a wet track, and then he hit another one, and then he went back to the dry and didn't do much and just spelled him. So I just think they've slammed the blinkers on him, which is a bit of a question mark for me, because I'm sort of wanting him to really midfield, bit wide, and come down the outside, and I just hope he doesn't overdo it. But I think this is a really good race to bet in. I think a lot of horses can't win, like Wudang Blade will puncture over 1,000 at Eagle Farm, and you got the second favourite Devil's Temptation being up there, and he's going to puncture over 1,000. Shooting for Gold, definite chance, but he's rock bottom. And the horses that I'm sort of looking to back are the Sinner, Unguarded, and Kanunga. I think those three horses will be attacking the line, and I'll be turning from Sadie into Batman if one of them wins.
And if like all last preparation, you see the jockeys. You had Jay Ford, Dylan Gibbons, Brodie Loy. So Craig Williams from a wide gate just seems the perfect tonic here. And $11 at TopSport seems a very backable price. He's $13 in. I think you've probably knocked the price off there, but $13 is still backable. You've convinced me for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a nice race. Definitely, like as I said, there's horses there we can bet against, and that's what I love, finding horses that are well in the market that I don't like, and then start looking, wider to see if we can cover up the race. And, it's possible if Shooting for Gold gets out to around about the 280 mark around there, I might save on it because we're on the roughies. But that way, if I can get 280 or 290 Shooting for Gold late, I'll be very comfortable with this race.
All right, so what price have you got Kanunga on your MacBet ratings?
I have it $7.
Okay.
$7 it. I've got the Sinner 650, and I've got Unguarded around $8. So there, the three of them were about half price. I had them all about half the price that what they were. So I think this is just a nice race.
Outstanding stuff. When Johnny's got one marked real short, he gets a horn for him, and so does I. So make sure you check out macbet.com.au, and you can get his full rating sets for not just the 4 races that we're looking at. You can get them for the whole card. So make sure you check them out. Let's have a look at the Group 1 Tatts Tiara, and we'll get Moneybags Tommy Turbo to go through this one. We've got the odds courtesy of TopSport on the screen now. Tofane, 6 into $5. Odium, 7.50 into 5. Savatiano, 9.50. Subpoenaed, 15 into 11. Nudge, 19 into 13. And Brooklyn Hustle, $13. Interesting one in the betting here. Tofane and Odium just seem to be clearing out here, and Nudge is the only other one that they've spec'd. But the replay we're going to have a look at is the Dane Ripper, Odium, Tommy Turbo.
Yep. It's funny you mention that. The 3 horses they've kind of spec'd that are the mares who have won their last start or whatnot. So, Odium didn't win, come second, but she raced really well here. She was first up on speed, 3 wide, no cover. I know she was in the probably the best, wasn't the best part of the track, but it was probably the fairest part of the track, whereas Brooklyn Hustle, when who was the other one, Madame Rouge coming down the outside, they were in superior lanes, I feel. I really like her here. She's under the weight for age conditions now, so she drops from, I think it was 58 down to 55 and a half or 56, something like that. That Dane Ripper is a really good form race. I really like it. There's 10 horses coming out of it. I think Odium has most of them covered. It should be a pretty similar run race to what we saw there. You've got the main speed influences being the same, being Reelman Ruby, Dame Giselle, Sweet Deal. That will be on speed again. The Fly in the Ointment, kind of the newcomers, could be Mizzy, but she's first up off 8 weeks with Tommy Berry. As Walt described a couple of weeks ago on Bet Doctor, he's not the kind of jockey who's going to burn the turf up in front. And you've got Savatiano, who could potentially push forward, but she's 28 days off, blinkers off, and she pulled up lame last start. So it looks to be probably a moderately run race again. I think J-Mac Odium just slides across with a couple drawn outside him, probably 2 or 3 pairs back, and can be really hard to catch. I think if the speed somehow goes on and a jockey just takes off, you'll probably be looking for a horse like Nudge. I think she'll be the one storming late, coming back in distance from 1,600 metres. So she's about $12, and Odium's the other one I'll be playing. I think Tofane is obviously really hard to beat coming out of a Group 1 race. Barrier 14, she'll be in the right part of the track also, but I just feel she's about the right price. I still think there's a bit of juice in Odium and Nudge.
I think this, I tend to agree here. I think the race looks pretty straightforward for me. I think Odium and Tofane look the clear horses to beat, and you can definitely make a case for Subpoena and Nudge. Any thoughts, J-Mac?
I like what Tom's saying, that again you're finding a lot of holes in a lot of these other horses that probably can't get 1,400 strongly, and Nudge 1,600 back to 1,400 on Eagle Farm, and especially if we get a little bit of this rain, you really want that miler. So that's a nice, that's going to be the right type of horse coming to the right part of the track.
Yeah. And Odium's proven over 1,600 as well. She had a run down there in Flemington in the Group 1 Empire Rose. I was kind of against her last start. She was coming off a long break, hadn't handled Eagle Farm, but what she did there was enough to suggest to me that she's ready to go to win a Group 1 here.
That spot where Brooklyn Hustle came the other day, I remember, I haven't walked this track for ages, but when I did, that outside lane, they used to actually have the roller out there and the tractors sort of thing going around the outside of the track, and it just compounded the track all the time. So where Brooklyn Hustle came, it was very close to that hard ground out
there. Yeah, she was on a dead set travelator that day. That's what I didn't really want to be with Odium after that race, but she's drawn wide again, and I feel like just this time of the day, the wide draw is just going to be so advantageous. And I think you'll see in the betting, once the pattern is kind of confirmed, you'll see these horses who are drawn wide late in the day, they're going to firm up in the market.
And I can remember on Empire Rose Stakes Day, and even the meeting after that, I think her next start in the March Stakes, this horse got absolutely hammered. The big players love to back this horse, and you got J-Mac, and as you say, the pattern of the track is probably all going to make a perfect storm here, so I can't see this horse getting out in the market. And yeah, I can remember it being wide and on the speed, and I thought it was all honours in the Dane Ripper. Did really, really well to hold on, so I think you guys have absolutely nailed this race. Also, we might keep that segment short and sweet and take a little bit of a break, but make sure this weekend, if you're betting, check out topsport.com.au. They've got the protest payout, they've got odds boost, they've got odds boost for everyone, so even if you're a smart punter, you still get it. You can have game multis, and they're just a one-stop betting shop, so make sure you bet with an Australian-owned bookmaker this weekend with topsport.com.au. I'm going to take a break, and we'll come back and we'll preview the WJ Healy Stakes. Welcome back to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival show. We've got the lucky last race here. We've done all the quaddie legs, so hopefully by this stage we are absolutely jogging. And the race we're going to have a look at is the WJ Healy Stakes, 1,200 metre race. Been some impressive and big winners of this one in the past. Odds courtesy of TopSport on the screen now. Ballers the scratching, the much improved horse. So away game's the favourite here for 80. Usmanov $6.50. Gen Rules $8.50. Exhilarates $9. Bella Nipotina $9.50. Hightail $12 and King of Hastings $13. We're going to have a quick look again at the Dane Ripper, and Gen Rules is the horse we're going to focus on this time. Take us away, Johnny.
Yeah, Gen Rules is the one tucked in behind the green with the yellow sleeves, or the striped sleeves. She's got no run there. If she could have come out and followed Odeon, where it was, I think she would have won, but she kept on having to slide back into inferior ground. And so she's, these outside horses are on that, that real strong lane, and she's still trying to come at these other ones in the worst part of the track. So I just think if she would have been able to get to the outside, she might have, broke a little bit of a gap on the eventual winner, Brooklyn, and may have won. Now she's fitter, she's going to be in the right spot. I know she's not $70 this week, which was last week, that last one, but it only got beaten 2.4 lengths or something, that thing, and I think this one might turn the corner for us. So it was about $13 this morning, but with Baller coming out, it's still $8.50. I think it's going to start shorter. We've got, I've got $3.50, so I'm keen to back it. I'm keen. Again, I'm looking to find the horses that I didn't like at the start, and that was Baller, but he's out. Usmanov won't run the 1,200. Exhilarates went like a dromedary the other day, so I'm putting a line through it. Away game, Tommy, you're against it.
Yeah.
King of Hastings, you go. Hey?
How did it parade first up?
She's only a little thing. But she paraded okay, but there was a stack of money for her, an absolute stack, so but the problem with her is there's really good speed up front here, and, she's going to be exposed at this time of day. There's going to be something's going to come from midfield for sure and certain here. So she's going to be looming to win, and then you're going to have closers. And, I just think Gen Rules is the closer. I think with that fitness little edge under her belt, I think she's going to come pretty quickly.
In Good Times, a horse that I've been on the last couple of starts, is it a fluker's chance at $41? I noticed it was scratched the other day.
I always have it shorter than the market for some reason, but I was disappointed in its run the other day. I thought, it just plugged in behind him, whereas previous run was wide, and everyone was sort of thinking, okay, it was wide and working, but again, it was Eagle Farm, and it's probably the better part of the track. So horses like In and Up, it's got a little hope. It's got the one gate though. It's got to get back in the field on the fence. That's its real problem. But you just keep on looking at a lot of these. Like Zanaya loomed to win on the better part of the track the other day and just died. King of Hastings had a lovely run, and just there was horses in front of it were going away from it. Hail Manhattan looking for further. Hilo can't win this. Dr. Zeus needs a run. The bottom one I think is outclassed, even though it's $10. I think it's outclassed. Exhilarates went like a dromedary, and Uzmanov can't get 1200. So you really, what is the horse that's going well and performing? And that's Jen Rules.
Hopefully, Rachel King can get the job done, and maybe Tommy Turbo can catch Rachel King's goggles if he's sitting in the crowd somewhere. I know he's a bit of a merch collector of sorts.
Yeah, something like that. Where are they?
You're a very sick man. Let's have a look at the TopSport Big Bets. We've got Eagle Farm, race 7, number 3, Ditmas, 400 each way at $21. Not a big bet there, but someone has spec'd that. This horse can bob up in these 1,000-metre races.
Yeah, that's AJ's horse. He's a good bloke from down the coast. He was on the radio down there for years, and I think he's back on the radio. He was number 1 DJ down there or something. So he likes a bet. I don't know whether that'd be his bet, but it'll be some of it.
And the other one we got there is race 8, number 1, Tafane, 2,000 at $6. That's probably not a bad ticket there.
Yeah, it's definitely a chance. Yeah, you can't knock that horse's win the other day. It was very strong on the line. One thing I did find out the other day yesterday, is that maybe that Vega 1 may not race again. That's how bad her injury supposedly it got out of it. So I don't know whether that's the right report or not, but makes me sick when we were on it the other
day. Couldn't go down a winning note.
Yeah. Well, he just got stripped just as they come out of the barriers, supposedly too.
Yeah, well. Very tough game and an unlucky game. All right, so we're going to barrel into Incentivise at the short odds in the early legs. It looks like Kanunga is a horse that's going to be on the move if Johnny Mcleod's tipping it. Or rated at a $6 chance. The $11 will not last at topsport.com.au, so make sure you're all over that. I think the Tatts Tiara looks a pretty straightforward equation, and then again, we might be able to jag a good price about Gen Rules. Don't worry about it coming off a high SP. $8.50 might be the safe way to go. Hopefully, Rachel King can give it one of her good steers. But yeah, as I said before, if you want to find out more about these guys, it's macbet.com.au. And as always, make sure you support our sponsors, topsport.com.au and puntingform.com.au, Australia's best sectional times database. All right, I'll let you guys have a bit of a break this week. Sorry,
Sounds simple, doesn't it?
What's that?
Simple, doesn't it?
This Saturday?
Yeah.
No, well, you made Ipswich look pretty simple last week, so I'll be definitely locked in the office all day Saturday, and I'll be betting. I couldn't believe that I missed Snitch last week. I went down to Mount Martha, I had screaming kids in the car, and I absolutely made a meal of it. So I won't be missing out this week, that's for sure. But we've only got 2 shows to go, so let's nail the last 2 weeks. We've got Caloundra Cup next Saturday, so fingers crossed we can go shoot the lights out for the next couple of weeks.
Love the place, Caloundra and Eagle Farm. Up we go, boys.
Big tracks.
That's what we like.
Big tracks find the best horse.
Correct way.
The boys will be doing the hard work, and all you have to do is pull the trigger at home. So make sure you follow us on Apple or Spotify. We're on SoundCloud. We're all over the place. And if you want the other southern states, make sure you check out Bet Doctor, our other racing show. But thanks for joining us, and thanks, boys. Good luck on Saturday.